Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I want to take a look at a new game coming out called Temtem. It's very similar to Pokemon in the sense that you catch creatures, you battle them, you trade them, you find them in tall grass, etc. The difference here is that the game is in an MMO format, and to be completely honest, in my opinion, it looks far more appealing than Sword and Shield ever did. Now, before we look at the trailer, I just want to say that yes, the game is heavily inspired by Pokemon, but that's not inherently a bad thing. There are games like Neo and Code Vein that are heavily inspired by Dark Souls, but they still remain their own games. So yes, this game is very similar to Pokemon, and at a first glance, some have said it's even a ripoff. But I've watched some competitive battles and seen gameplay from the alpha and whatnot, and I do have to say that the game definitely goes in its own direction. To be honest, the similarity to Pokemon is kind of what gives it its charm. It's almost like a Pokemon game made by developers that actually care about fans. This game was made with Kickstarter money, has raised about $570,000, and I can't say words to say how this game looks. Let's just start the video and you guys tell me what you think. Right off the bat, the world design looks incredibly polished and, dare I say, extremely interesting to say the least. I really like the lava area and the layered water area.
Welcome to the world of Temtem, a massively multiplayer creature-collecting game filled with friends, foes, and dozens of Temtem to find and tame.
As you can see, the Temtem follow you around. This has been a feature that Pokemon fans have been asking for to make a return since Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Also, look at some of these characters. The depth of the customization definitely dwarfs that of Sword and Shield. The same Sword and Shield that has been created by the largest media franchise in the world is being outdone on this front by an indie developer.
Experience the epic, story-driven campaign alone or with a friend. Battle, trade, or chat with other players, and engage in exciting and unique skill-based combat to determine who's the best Temtem tamer in the Airborne Archipelago. Temtem is a massively multiplayer online experience, so it's important for each player to be able to stand out. Create and customize your tamer with...
See, here we have even more cosmetics. Some of these look really appealing, but what I find really fascinating is the multiplayer aspect. You can see other players walking around, doing their thing, and you can battle or trade with them by interacting with them. Remember the PSS? It's hailed as one of the best ways to interact with other players, and I solemnly agree with that sentiment if we're comparing it to other Pokemon games. But this MMO-styled interaction is 100% better. This is something that many fans have always wanted to see in a Pokemon game, but the reality is, we're probably not. This game here is the closest we're ever going to get to a Pokemon MMO, and you know what? I actually like the fact that it's not Pokemon. It's very unique. I don't know, I'm going off on a tangent here, but I really like how this game looks.
Dozens of options and cosmetic items, and when you're ready to set off on your adventure, Temtem features a robust emote system to help you connect with other players. The Airborne Archipelago is a living, breathing world packed with colorful...
Sorry, real quick, I want that in a plush.
...characters, different islands to explore, quests to complete, and of course, Temtem to tame.
Some of the Temtem look really interesting. Now, some may say they look kind of weird or different from Pokemon, but that's the thing, they're not Pokemon. So I am glad that they have their own unique charm.
This world is meant to be explored together with friends, whether you're completing campaign missions against the evil clan Bel Soto in co-op, or battling other players in exciting 2v2 battles. Temtem has been designed from the ground up to be a social experience that's balanced and competitive.
This actually makes me really happy. One thing that the trailer doesn't say is that the game actually does its best to completely mitigate RNG from battles. It'll even tell you how long something will be asleep for and whatnot. I personally prefer single to double battles, but that's probably because most of the Pokemon games have you fighting in singles, and then for some strange reason, the VGC, the official competitive side of things, is double. I like how competitive matches they match up with the campaign style of combat. That way it gives you a better chance to understand the mechanics of double battles before jumping into these kind of ranked battles.
Battles in Temtem are 2v2 to allow for a ton of strategic opportunities. The synergy system allows Temtem to buff each other, or execute combination attacks for maximum damage.
I've seen this synergy thing in action. It's actually really cool. Basically, from what I've seen, some attacks have like dual effects. So for a made-up example, let's just say I have an attack that usually does like 50 base power. It'll have a secondary effect. So if I use it by myself, it just does 50 base power and nothing else. But that secondary effect will be that if you have an ally that happens to be a poison type, it'll also poison the opponent for, I don't know, 3 turns. So it's I think that's really cool. It adds a whole different layer of team building.
Temtem also uses a unique stamina-based battle system that encourages strategic play.
At first, I was a little scared of the stamina bar. I was like, oh, that looks really weird, or that's kind of different. But it actually looks really interesting. Basically, all attacks use stamina, and if you run out of stamina, you hit yourself with recoil when using those attacks. You have the option of skipping your turn to rest to gain more stamina back, and all Temtem will gain stamina back at the end of each turn, just a little bit. Also, after every battle, this is a big one, your Temtem stamina will be restored. So it's not like you have to hold like a bunch of stamina potions after every single battle, because some of your attacks will really eat into your stamina bar. So that's not something you have to worry about annoying you during your campaign.
Carefully managing your Temtem stamina and knowing when to hold back or go all out is vital to your success. There are dozens of Temtem to tame with different strengths, weaknesses, and unique stats. You can breed Temtem to transfer techniques and traits, creating unique combinations that can't be found in the wild. Temtem that are bred also have a better chance of having higher individual stats.
So again, this is just like Pokemon, but Temtem have 7 base stats with IVs. I don't remember, I think they're TVs and SVs, but they're the same as IVs and EVs. So they have 1 to 50 in their IVs instead of 1 to 31, and they can hold up to 1,000 EVs.
Master the breeding system and min-max your way to the best team in the islands. Temtem is the next evolution of creature collecting games, and the team at Crema is devoted to expanding upon the experience for years to come through major updates, weekly challenges, new Temtem, and new ways to play.
So yeah, this game looks incredible, and I'm really excited to give it a go. The only thing I'm kind of concerned about is if this game is going to be a live service kind of game, they're going to have to monetize. It's just a fact. Beyond its initial price, if they're going to keep this thing going for years, they're going to have to be able to make some money. So, sure, at first we'll get updates for free, especially in early access and whatnot. But if it's going to be updated for years, like I said, they need to make some cash. My hope is that it's going to be in the form of expansions rather than microtransactions. Like, what would be kind of cool is if it's like, oh, here's a new region with new monsters. That's a big DLC or something. I've always not had a problem with DLC. I don't like microtransactions specifically. But if they do microtransactions, I'm hoping that they're reasonably priced and cosmetic only. Convenience-based microtransactions, I personally think, in a sense, are pay to win. Like, let's say you're playing Pokemon Go. Okay, sure, technically somebody can incubate 1 egg over and over and over again to get high IV Pokemon, but the sheer amount of time that's going to take versus someone who pays money for 9 incubators, sure, it's the person who paid technically isn't being given higher odds, but the fact that they have 9 shots at the same time gives them higher probability of getting something better. Or even in a game like this, let's say you can pay for faster hatching eggs. Well, the people that don't pay are handicapped by the fact that they have to spend more time trying to hatch eggs than they do practicing their battling skills. So in a sense, it's inadvertently pay to win. Also, obviously like pay to win based microtransactions, like ones that give you a competitive edge, those are obviously ridiculous. Like, I don't like those. But like I said, if they do microtransactions, I do hope it's cosmetic only and they're reasonably priced. But other than that, these games look great. I like the designs. The Temtem themselves look awesome. It's really captivated me. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you excited for Temtem? What's your take? Oh, also, before I go, the game, it's coming to Steam January 21st, 2020 as an early access. So make sure you add that to your wish list or whatever, just to show your support for the game. And with that, I'm out.
Want to know more? Sign up for future beta stress tests online and join our official Temtem Discord channel for news and feedback. Wishlist Temtem on Steam and Humble Bundle to show your support. From the team at Crema and Humble Bundle, we'll see you online for our early access launch on January 21st.